Welcome back. I wasn't really prepared for the first one or this one really, but I guess I got a topic of discussion I want to talk about and get off. Pretty much not really get off my chest, but provide a public service announcement. uh, a lot of people, I believe, are worshiping. They're worshiping Y, right? They're worshiping Y, and they confuse it between me and God. Um, I believe I find truth in my name is the name of the Lord. In this cycle of this age, I believe it changes, and I think that's for tactical purposes. I believe this is a cycle where we're seeing the end of this cycle, the end of the age, right? And you see destruction and building going on, ascension and descent. I'm never gonna tell you I'm God. I follow God. God's in my heart, and He's out everywhere. I believe everything is the Lord, and there's a unifying force holding us all together. And I believe you can't name it. It's not formed. There's no form. It's nothing, It's the absolute and the nothing as one. I never would have thought any of this. They say Jesus, became this guy after becoming old enough, and I can see how that relates because you ask me who I am before the dawn, and I'm just a guy trying to be a healer, a communicator, a servant of the Lord. And then I believe I died on the crossroads in my home state. I woke up to the black sky, and I saw my life flash before my eyes. And I came into this position. Nobody elected me. You could say I'm chosen, but I see that. Yeah, I guess I am. It's hard to believe. You constantly in denial about it, and I can see why people are in denial about it as well. I just see myself as a messenger. People are saying I'm all this. I just say I'm a messenger, like anybody else, really. Anybody can be a messenger of the Lord, so long as they have a voice and choose to act and will on their thoughts and words and deeds and intentions, But I'm just a guy. I wouldn't call myself the Son of the Lord. People would equate me to Jesus Christ's second coming, but whatever you think and is yours. I just think I'm one of the ones down the line that there's been hundreds of me, I'm sure, in this age of this realm, and I'm sure they're all different but the same, and that's what I'm talking about. If I had to really pin myself, I follow these I would use these two religious teaching examples. The Muslims, that Jesus was not God, he was a messenger, and that if he came back, yeah. I mean, there's seen some things in the Bible, the water bearer, my name, fYre. It's really hard for me to accept the truth with that. But I just continue moving forward, doing my thing and relying on God, I trust the force, the Lord. I trust that, Allah, God, they're gonna take care of me and show me what I need to do. And if you ever seen that movie with the zombies and the Boy Scouts, it's an American film. There's one fat kid in there that just kind of does this thing and survives and misses all these attacks and attempts on his life, and it's just wu wei, it's just easy, thoughtless. And that's what it's like for me, really, I don't plan, scheme, or anything. I'm just doing me, what I think is right. And that's what everybody's doing. And we're at the point now where it matters more about everybody than it does me. I could be dead tomorrow, and the ball's in motion. There's no stopping it. And it's because of you. It's because of the ducks, the underground. It's because of the geese, the golden geese, and above the ground. It's the whole thing, the whole wham shabam. And I believe that this is the end of the age, end times of this, faction or regime that has conquered and controlled the world for so long. Everybody's a king inside their household, and queen, princess, prince, and self-governance is real, and we come together as a unity and a community to keep it lawful and in order. There's like somewhat, but you keep freedom as well, liberty. So yeah, take a moment here to think. Oh, this is what I also wanted to cover for the name of God. You see the name of God, it's spelled this way, right? YHWH. They say they can see that in the DNA of humans. Well, if you actually pronounce that, it's not Yahweh, it's Y. It's literally Y and then the of Y. You don't hear the it's the present and the nothing. And so, I believe that the symbol is more important than the name. If you're in a different country and you have different names for this, I believe you're still talking to the God. So I prefer people worshiping the real God and not some man. And if I'm going to be the Buddha, I just have to talk the straight word. And in all reality, I don't know anything really. I just, like I said, I talk with my heart. I walk with my heart, and my heart serves the Lord. It loves God. My mother raised me to see the signs of God, witness them, and love it, because I believe, I am in communication with God, just like anybody can be. And, it's just, I don't pray. I have prayers and things and stuff, but I believe just having a good heart and good intentions is really it. That leads into wholesome good action. And I don't try to fuck anybody over, but I am a poor, miserable sinner. I am human. I have flaws. There's errors in me, in my way. So you can't really accept me as the whole thing, because I'm not the whole thing. You can look at it and break me down and say, I'm not perfect. I'm not sure, how you can interpret that, but I view people as a fractal of God. So when somebody says I'm a God, it's like, no, you're a fractal of God. You're a part of God, just like anybody else, but you're not God, because we reserve God for the ultimate, right? For what is the Tao, the heaven and hell, purgatory, and all this stuff, but I guess I revealed my eyes, and you can see into my eyes and see, I'm just human. And I wanted to talk about this today. Today's 4/11/2026. Wanted to give you the 4/11 today, kick it by the fire. And you're seeing the work be done, and it's through the will of the people and through the will of God, and it's one, and there's levels and parts to it. I don't know who fully understands that, but I'm still trying to write songs that matter, that you can take home with you and get something from that's good, and get something from learning about the bad, because I try to put everything in my message, because like I said, I'm not clean and straight. I'm a poor, miserable sinner, literally. So if you want to call me just a prophet, you want to call me the Buddha, if you want to call me God, they all can be true in a sense, but I reserve God for God, Allah, why, for the ultimate divine, the absolute nothing, the blend of everything, and I'm just a part of the network that wants to change the world, and we're doing that. It's global. You look at how, if you want to say, what's the timing? Why are you here now? Why you? All this stuff. Well, it's because of my mom and dad. It's because of my family lineage from history. It's because I'm in the U.S. I believe the whore of Babylon. And I think it makes sense, but I sit in Michigan in the middle at the right hand of God, the Father Almighty. That's right. That's in the book. I clicked these things together before, but I've always been in denial, and I think I'll live to the end of the days in denial of who I am, because, like my father before me, I don't know how I became this. It's been stripped from my memory or blocked, but I don't know how I became this. It just keeps showing itself, and I'm just taking the punches and moving forward like anybody else in life, and that's all we can do, you know. But I think this is getting a little too long. I don't know if anybody actually sees this shit anyway. But, I think when the dawn happened, we all came together. We saw there is something out there. You know, it's looking right back at you. The eye in the sky never lies. I lie. I fail. I err. I sin. I don't think God would. I think Z will be perfect. I don't think I am. I think, yeah, Jesus Christ wasn't either. But, or the Buddha, you know, or Prophet Muhammad, or Lao Tzu, or any of them. I think trial and error is a part of life, and it's how we become who we are, and why we think the same ways we do, and why we do the things we do, and it always separates us, right? If there's anything to say about this realm, it's a fractal, you know? It's a piece of a pie, and everything's separated. Everything's so alike when you connect the dots. There's a basic structure, right? And then it it deviates from that to be different and specific. And you look at the whole system and the ecosystem and the closed loop system that it is in nature, and it's intelligent. And I think my alternative self has conquered that. Me here, Wiley, I'm just a dumbass poor Muslim sinner, to be honest with you. Like, everything I've come across has been Wu Wei, and if you don't know what Wu Wei is, it's effortless action, and I'm not sure where this effort action is coming from other than God. And I think everybody's being doused with the divine, and we're doing what God wills. I don't think He wants us to continue this horrible life that we all live, you know, in the U.S. But I think it's going to be the good days coming up with heaven on earth. The kingdom of heaven is near. I believe that was true when I said it when I reposted the things I have at the beginning on my Facebook, and I think it is coming. I think a lot of people think that, and it's kingdom builders that make it happen, right? It's not just going to show up and pop up and, oh, here's heaven on earth. You know, we have to work for it. And you know, I'm lazy and stuff, but I do work hard with what I can do and what I am doing. I work diligently, and it doesn't look like it or sound like it, but this is my life now. And you know, I still want to live a normal human life. You know, be just a normal guy. I don't want to live up to any pedestal that they put me on. I'm not on a pedestal. I have idols, you know, I look up to people. And I think no one's perfect, and I'm not sure anybody will ever be perfect, but if I had to assume anybody, it'd be Z. And that's going to be a different time and different era. You know, they're going to be, you know, with everything going on, you know, this is a huge historical event going on that will likely be in the books for however many years, But nothing ever lasts. You said that. Look. Things pass over. Things turn. And that's how it is. That's the way she goes. I'm gonna end it there, guys. That's your talk with the talk from the fire, and I'm not leading this. There's people in it that are, but I'm just the messenger guy, the artist. Really, I'm just creating art. Most of what I do now is just create art and write and try to preach, I guess, but I'm not trying to be a preacher. I'm just trying to be upfront with what I've experienced in my life and what's wrong and what's right, and I think we are able to judge that. I think those who do wrong don't want you to be a judge, because somebody has to identify it and judge it as wrong. But we see, the U.S. is wrong. It's been wrong for a long time, since they started. And anybody really holding on to it is tightening the grip, and it's getting harder and harder to hold on to it, really. And I think you're going to see a lot of things unfold over the next while. It is what it is, right? 22. That's it. Peace out.